Yeah. What up? What up? It's Big Twins, aka the grimy one. Y'all know the Mobb Deep infamous clique. Yo, check it out, man. I want y'all to tap in to Cigar Talk Toronto, man. You know, they be putting it in, interviews and this and that. So check them out. Cigar Talk Toronto from Big Twin, y'all. You already know.
All right, welcome back to Block 105 Radio Saturday night, Cigar Talk Toronto. We appreciate everybody tuning in as always. You guys keep us doing what we're doing, and not only do the listeners keep us doing what we're doing, it's the guests that we have on. And tonight we got another great guest. We got Stack Federal Dollars. What's going on, man?
What's going on, my brother? Manteca, bye. You already know what it is. Your boy Stack Federal Dollars live on 105 Cigar Talk. You know what I'm saying? Block Radio.
There you go. There's a good plug right there. And now, actually, the first thing I want to ask you about is you're Peruvian, correct?
Indeed, I am, brother.
Were you born in Peru?
Nah, you know what I'm saying? My mother and my father, they're Peruvian. They
Okay.
migrated to the States, you know what I'm saying? And I was born here in Rhode Island.
Okay. Do you ever spend any time back home?
I've been one time. I believe that was like 2006. I loved it, man. Honestly speaking, I loved it. The culture was so rich. That's what made me, you know what I'm saying, fall in love with being in the motherland.
Yeah. What's the hip hop culture like there in Peru?
As of right now, from what I'm analyzing, is like mostly trap.
Okay.
Trap and like the reggaeton, you know what I'm saying? There's some of that boom bap, but it's very far in between. You know what I mean?
Because one thing that I've noticed, again, my comparison to traveling to Colombia, a lot of they like a lot of the boom bap, a lot of the older generation artists. It's a really, I've been seeing a lot of the older artists doing tours there recently, and that's why I was curious about what Peru was like, being that they're neighbors.
Yeah, indeed. Peru is more right now, from like I stated, from what I'm analyzing, it's more like the trap, hip hop, and the reggaeton.
Okay. So you grew up speaking Spanish,
Indeed.
I would assume. When you started into the rap game, was that always something that you wanted to ensure that you implemented in your style, was having that Peruvian culture and the Spanish lyrics?
Indeed, it was due to the fact that if you analyze hip hop, everybody has a stamp in it. Puerto Ricans have a stamp in it. Dominicans have a stamp in it. Even Mexicans have a stamp in it. But it's very seldomly do you hear somebody saying Peru. You feel me? So I was always analyzing pun. So I'm like, yo, pun is like the Michael Jackson to Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like the Hector Lavoe in reference to a hip hop. So I was like,
Yeah.
yo, that's what I wanted. That's what I'm striving to become.
So would you say that that pun was one of your influences in terms of forming your style and who you were looking at as to guidance to, come up with your stylistic equation?
D, D.
What about, so I'm trying to think about if there's, I can't name off the top of my head any other Peruvian artists.
There's a lot doing it, you know what I'm saying, as of right
Yeah,
now, but there's very few on the upper echelon. You feel
yeah.
me? So that's why I'm stating that.
So going back, you were born in Rhode Island.
Or
Um,
shout out to Rhode Island, Detroit Ave.
there you go. What was the culture like for hip hop in your area back then? Not too often you hear of too many people coming out of Rhode Island.
Indeed. So just let me add on to that. I was born in Rhode Island, but everything commenced in Paterson. So we
Okay.
migrated from Rhode Island to Paterson, and once I started my journey into music, everything commenced in Paterson, the Power City.
Okay. So were you into hip hop when you were currently residing in Rhode Island, or was it when you kind of landed in Patterson that you kind of really started getting into it?
See, when I was in Rhode Island, I was more like a toddler, you know.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay, yeah.
my parents made the decision, to migrate to Paterson, and once I started to grow and develop, and now everything I'm attracting certain things like music, that's when everything starts to unfold.
So what was your when you ended up in Patterson, what was your first memory of hip hop that had you glued to the art form?
So my first memory of hip hop would be uh, in the kitchen, television, video music box.
Okay.
When I saw a video music box, and the intro, they usually have certain pictures of certain individuals. I'm like, yo, who is that? Who is this person? Who is that? All you see is gold chains, the Dapper Dan. I'm like, yo, this is something incredible. This is what I want to be a part of. And to me, it seemed like they were like superheroes, because Batman got the utility belt, they
Yeah.
got the chains. I'm like, yeah, this is something crazy right here.
That's a unique take right there. I've never heard that one. I like that. They got the chains, Batman's got the belt.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Um, who was it that really opened up your and I'm sure it was more than one artist, but who was it that really uh made you tune in to the genre and really start digging into it and thinking that, you know what, I really want to do this one day?
Big Daddy Kane.
Okay.
They was playing Ain't No Half Stepping a lot on video music box. And that video just did something to me, and him, just his character, what he reflected on the screen. It was like, yeah, man, this is the guy right here. Word up.
When so when you how did you go about getting into the music? Did you just one day just decide to start writing rhymes? Did you start doing any battles? Like how did it come from a thought to actually pursuing it?
Okay. So around the corner, I had two friends of mine, Storm and his cousin Shock. They were into music. And as we start hanging more and more and more, it's like, yo, we should rap. And Shock had the turntables, and
Okay.
lo and behold, that's how we started doing it. We started rapping. I had my little rhyme book, write my little rhymes, and later on is when it developed to a greater level of appreciation for the actual art.
Now, when you started venturing into the art form, um, you started writing rhymes. Was there anything that kind of hit you like, this is harder than I thought, or was it something that just came so natural to you that you felt like it was your blessing?
Well, honestly speaking, I didn't analyze that until later on. At the commencement with me, Storm, and Shock, it was just something that we did, something that we
Yeah.
enjoyed. I didn't foresee the future like, yo, I'm gonna be doing albums or nothing like that. It was just something that we really enjoyed during our adolescence.
Yeah. So at what point did you go from enjoyment to it being a career of yours? Like what was that?
2018,
2000 what?
2018.
2018, okay.
Yeah.
What was that transition period like with that like that awakening moment where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna pursue this as my career and I'm gonna go, head first, gonna hit the ground running, and this is what it is for the rest of my days.
Okay, so if you do the knowledge, 2018, I believe Nas had dropped Nasir, that album. So I was listening to that album constantly. And I called my brother, Rob, and I'm like, yo, bro, man, this, I want to get back in the studio, but I really want to get serious about it. So he was like, all right, bet you want to get serious. All right, let me call you back. So I was like, I didn't think nothing about it. So he was like, yo, he called me back. He was like, meet me at Keith House. I was like, I bet. So I pull up the Keith House. It's him, Rob, Keith, and then I come in and it's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? In regards to our dialogue, you stating that you want to really take this serious. Well, just want to let you know that we starting a company, 85 Music, and we want you to be the flagship artist. So it's just the universe combining everything, you know?
Yeah, timing, right place,
Yeah.
uh,
Exactly.
organic. Yeah,
Being in alignment, you feel me?
yeah. That's something that I firmly believe in. You can't, you can't rush things. You can't force things. The universe is going to allow it to happen when it's meant to happen, and there's really nothing we could do about it.
I
Uh,
concur.
so, how did you get established when you started taking it serious? What was something that what was it you had to go out and start doing a lot of shows? You had to hit the mixtapes. How did you really start gaining traction with your name?
In regards to getting traction with my name, it all commenced with the first album, Just Another Street Musician. So that's my first album, came out 2018. We started doing shows, get videos, started getting more out into the streets. Cause once you're a new artist, you gotta
Yeah,
like campaign. You feel me? So you gotta knock on doors, you gotta hug babies, shake hands, and this is what you gotta do to generate traction towards your name.
yeah, yeah.
And
Do you
that's what we
think
did.
do you think given we're in a completely different time and the way you sound like you've approached it is that of kind of an older school way where you really go out, you knock on the doors, you really like kick the doors down. Do you think we've kind of hit a time where people have lost that step in their hustle and they're waiting for that internet viral moment?
Well, if you look at it, anybody who's anybody who's actually involved in striving to do something,
Yeah,
especially nowadays, it's all internet. So it's the
yeah,
same thing. It's just not anything that you really have to go to somebody
yeah.
because this is the gateway to millions of people. So it's the same thing, just a different style.
Do you think though it's made people, I don't want to say lazier, but more complacent where you don't actually have to get up and go anywhere and kind of do anything. You kind of just sit there and do this or send this and send this. Do you think it takes away from the hustle?
No, because in actuality, in order to get your name out there, you got to create these reels or you got to do these freestyles. So that's a part of the hustle. You feel
Yeah,
me? So if you following an artist, they only got like one freestyle. Like I really don't know what this person is doing. But if you following an artist that you really see, he got a freestyle this week, he got a video next week, he got a show next week, or whatever the case may be, then you see that this person is hustling.
yeah, yeah. Because one thing
That's
that
how I see it.
yeah, like one thing I've noticed when it comes to social media is some of the biggest names don't have much followers. And that's kind of where I'm going with this is the fact that, you a lot of people we hit a bubble where there was such overnight viral sensations, people made quick money, but there was no longevity in it.
Right.
Um,
A
and
shooting
then
star.
exactly. But then you look at some of the biggest names, and I mean, they're sub 10,000 followers. So I mean, it kind of create like you look at it, and I've heard some companies say, well, if you don't have 50,000 or more, we're not even going to talk to you. But it's like that's where I was going back to. It's made people a bit complacent in a sense where everything is prejudged based on these numbers that are really not even relevant because a lot of those numbers are paid for bots.
Correct. I agree. I agree. But in regards to your inquiry or your statement,
Yeah,
uh, toward the legends not having a lot of followers, that's because the legends are followed by the people who they created music for.
fair enough.
So it's very hard for a 13-year-old to follow Big Daddy Kane if his father never played Big Daddy Kane while he was,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, growing and developing. You feel me? So
yeah,
that's the reason why that is the way it is. This is social media is anybody's game, but it's really more for the young people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So essentially, us old heads haven't adapted and learned how to use it for our benefit.
A lot of yeah, it's true. A
Yeah,
lot
it
of
is.
and plus a lot of people aren't really on social media.
Yeah,
A lot of elders aren't on social media. It's the truth. You're like you don't got Instagram. Nah, I don't got Instagram. Cause everybody think somebody tracking their number or something like that. So there's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there that don't
yeah,
want to be involved with none of this. They
yeah, that's
they
true.
they, they analyze from afar.
I was just talking about this with AI today, and you know what? AI is one of those things that I think it could be a very useful tool if you use it as a tool.
Yeah.
You get a lot of people out there. It's almost like the modern day version of what was that voice? Um the voice altering, what was that called?
What are you talking about? The voice altering, the one that T Pain was using?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. Auto
So
tune.
auto tune. So AI
Mm.
is almost like the modern day auto tune, and it's kind of scary in a sense that, for me, my personal
Mhm.
opinion,
Okay.
that it's taking the artistry out of the beat makers and the artists, because essentially I myself could go and make myself sound like a great rapper when I can't rap for shit. And that I don't like. I think you could use it as a great tool for graphics, creating little reels and stuff like that. But I'm seeing a lot of artists use it to be an artist, and that's kind of scary for from my perspective.
Hey man, everything. I mean, at one point in time, athletes were taking steroids to
Yeah.
be better athletes. You know what I'm saying? So this is the modern day steroids.
But where do you draw the line between talent and craft to just letting a machine do it for you?
That depends on the consumer.
Yeah.
You know, we all have the choice to either listen to this person or not listen to this person, and that's what it all boils down to.
Do you think that um do you think it's going to be a phase? Because something that I'm noticing is a lot of the lyrical artists are starting to come back full circle. The boom bap style is starting to come back around. So you think
Mhm.
the AI stuff is going to be a phase, kind of like the way the auto tune was?
It's a good question, man. In regards to me believing if it will be a phase, it's hard. It's hard to actually, distinguish what
Yeah.
the future may hold because they may upgrade it to 2.0, something crazier.
There's going to be a
And
2.0 for sure.
and from what we see that we're moving into the future, a lot of things are being upgraded, and a lot of things that we were once accustomed to will be no
Yeah.
longer. This is the reason why you have Amazon, everything coming to your house. Eventually, ain't gonna be no malls. Everything will just be coming to your house.
Yeah, that's same thing with grocery stores, man. It's going to be
Yeah.
everybody ordering the groceries. It's
Now you
it,
could you could have an appointment with your physician right
yeah,
here instead of being
yeah,
face to face. Like, yeah, this is all what's to come.
it is. So going back to you as an artist,
Yeah.
you're a very lyrical artist.
Thank
Um,
you, brother. Appreciate that.
uh, your music is very refreshing.
Thank you.
Um, Especially for somebody like myself, where I went through like a rough patch with hip hop because it became so Hollywoodized, in my opinion, that
Oversaturated.
yeah. And being up here in Toronto, we don't have a lot of great stations up here. So everything that you would hear would be, the same repetitive Drake, Future,
Mhm.
21 Savage. And I really got disgruntled with it. So over the past year since I've been doing this, and I've been getting connected with so many great artists like yourself, it's like a breath of fresh air going like, shit, hip hop still does exist.
And shout out to Indigo Phoenix, man. You know what I'm saying? She bridged the gap. Word up.
I was gonna go there too because she connected me with you. So shout out to her.
Indeed.
Another great artist, strong voice. Um, she's gonna get her time.
Indeed.
Now, so being that you're an artist that is of the roots, we'll call it, how do you adapt to keep your style but use the modern day technologies to your advantage?
Okay. So I gotta be me. The only thing that's gonna I can utilize to get me further is just use the internet, social media. That's it. I can't allow what other people are doing and strive to implement that into my formula because it's not me.
Yeah,
So I'm learning that a lot of people scroll everybody you should do this scroll this is how you should do it scroll if you're dropping music too much, you know what I'm saying, it's too much of that. You just got to go with your heart, see who is really listening to your music, you know what I'm saying, and go and plug into those areas.
yeah. No, that's a fact. There's so many teachers out there that are not qualified to be teachers in what they're teaching.
Indeed, indeed. So this is the
Uh,
reason why you can't allow everything that you consume to take you in mentally.
yeah, you got to still have critical thinking with the stuff. And again, a lot of it is scams, just like we're looking to sponsor this and this and this. Oh, we'll pay you for doing these ads. Or it's the same thing. Every industry has different scams, and that's all it is. Um, it's it's definitely been a refreshing trend seeing that everything is coming back around full circle. Um, who who would be the artist that you look at right now that would give you inspiration that they've been around and they're coming back around again to kind of give you insight and inspiration that you can keep doing this through various cycles of the future?
Mhm. I'll say Black Thought.
Okay.
He's been around with the Roots, always doing his thing, and then he has merged off to doing his own thing as a solo artist. And I'm like, yo, that's just inspiration right there.
Out of curiosity, when certain MCs get to a certain point and they change their names, what are your thoughts on that?
You got
As
to
for
evolve with the times.
yeah,
Yeah, you got to evolve with the times.
do you think that
So for some people it works, but for other people it doesn't. Like LL, he's have been here too. He has a long run.
yeah,
If anybody has, really pays attention, LL has a long run, but he never changed his name. Now, for like, let's say Diddy, an individual of his caliber, he had to change that
yeah,
because he was reinventing himself.
yeah.
So it all depends on the person.
Do you think that the reinvention is a reinvention, or is it I want to forget about this era and I just want to be this now?
I can't answer that. That's with the person. That's actually with the person who knows what Diddy was thinking about. Yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm going from Puffy or from Diddy to Brother Love or just Love or whatever, or you know what I'm saying? Numerous names that he had. So it all depends. And we also have to analyze what was transpiring in his life at that time when he was making that transition. So I believe that the answer is right there. If you just analyze, a person's move, all right, why he moving like that? Oh, he moving like that because of this, you know?
It's I still call him most def.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel you.
you
I
know what I
feel
mean?
you.
That's why
Yeah, yeah.
because for me, most def is more iconic, and did more for me in my life. So I'll always call him most def. It's like when they rename stadiums. Like here, we have the Sky Dome, and they renamed it Rogers Center. Always call it Sky Dome.
Hmm.
It's
It's that nostalgia that's connected to it. You know what I mean?
exactly right, and definitely Mos Def is a nostalgic name for me with hip hop. So he's
Hmm.
forever Mos Def for me. Um, when do you have like a goal to implement a certain amount of Spanish songs or lyrics in your music, or is it just a natural goal?
No, I don't have a goal. It's just what I feel.
Yeah,
I
it's just
just
a
go off what
goal.
I feel. For example, in regards to yeah, it's just what I feel. For example, I got the Luisa Vincula on the new album Malcolm X and Dapper Dan, and when I received that beat from VSOP, I was I was like, all right, what do I do here? I began to ponder, what do I do here? Could I just spit some regular stuff, or do I just do a total 360 and just do something Spanish on here? And that's what I did. I decided to go straight Spanish on that whole thing. And then I also have Bumpy Johnson, Spanish Harlem, on the second verse toward the end. I'm spitting in Spanish.
I like the
So
mix.
thank you. Thank
I,
you.
I like the mix in between because you know what, it's something different that like even if you go back to like Big Pun, for example, he never really did a lot of straight Spanish songs, right?
Correct. It was
Um,
small pieces, bits in here.
yeah, and the bits and pieces are I like it. But I think when you can do like a 50-50 mix or more, like you kind of remind me of Mellow Man Ace when it comes to putting in that Spanish throughout the whole entire track.
Hmm.
And
Mellow Man Ace, that's what's his name, brother from Cypress Hill, right?
yeah, what's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Not Be Real, but the other brother. I forget
Um,
his name.
yeah, I know who you're talking about, but yeah, that's his
Yeah,
brother.
yeah, word. So, in regards to that, man, like I stated, I just want people to know that I'm Peruvian, and I
Yeah.
also want people to know that Peruvians get busy and we represent for the culture.
Do
So
you think
that's my main goal. That's my main goal.
do you think that that's what kind of puts you in a different category?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
there's really
indeed.
like there's really nobody else doing that right now.
There's few individuals you may catch here and there, you know,
Yeah,
but everybody has their own source. So nobody doing it to my caliber.
yeah.
You feel me? So yeah, and also let's just go back in regards to what you were saying, the pun. Um Pun didn't fully go Spanish because the industry was still shunning that.
Hmm.
So, there was still some limitations. Even though
Yeah.
he was like a mega superstar, there was still limitations. He couldn't go full-fledged Spanish. Me, I'm independent. We coming from the bottom up. So whatever I do, you either embrace it or you don't.
Another
So I
question.
say I say that to say this: we really don't have no limitations. You
Yeah,
feel me?
yeah. It's you're building you're coming from the ground up. You're really going with your own lane and you're gonna stick to it. You're
Indeed.
gonna build your own bubble, your own circle, and that's what's gonna thrive.
Word.
Curious, do you think, and I've heard Noriega say this, do you think Noriega really broke down the barriers for Latin music in the United States?
Hmm.
Because you're going back saying that Big Pun, he didn't really go full Spanish because it was shunned upon.
Yeah.
And if you go around the timelines, Noriega had that reggaeton album that he dropped,
Hmm.
And around that time, you could say that's when the reggaeton started blowing up in the United States, coming up to Canada. Do you think, and Noriega has claimed this, that he's the one that broke down that wall. Do you think that he was the artist that broke it down?
Um, in hindsight, I would say that he was the one that put it on the forefront,
Yeah,
but I don't believe that he was the one that elevated the stakes, you know what I'm saying, in reggaeton, because it was already here.
yeah,
And it was already here in the parties, you know what I'm saying, in the barbecues. You can hear a little bit of that sprinkled. You know, people go to PR, come back, like, yo, this is what they doing over there. People go to DR, come back, yo, this is what I got over here. And you know, if we're mingling with one another, because this is a big melting pot, you
yeah,
hear that. You hear that. But Nori, just being a wise businessman, was like, yo, this wave coming. So I'm about to
yeah,
get my boogie board and I'm about to get on top of the wave.
definitely. Because there was a lot of classics that came out of that album that he did. And yeah, I think you're correct where it was here, but it wasn't put on the forefront just yet.
Yeah.
So I th you know, I do give him credit for kind of taking it and putting it more into the mainstream eyes.
Hmm.
Because after that, there were so many artists that blew up. You know, Nina Sky, one of them. They were on tracks with so many different people. So definitely have to give them credit for that. Um, so when it comes to representing, you know, Spanish music, do you kind of carry that on your back? Like it's something that you're really, because Spanish people, they're very proud of their roots and their heritage.
Yeah.
And to carry that on your back, like it's like you're carrying your flag everywhere you go. Like how do you take that?
Uh, I take it with pride, my brother. You know, in regards to it being Spanish music, I don't really put it in the category of Spanish music. I just put it in the cat. Pardon me. Let me state that again. In regards to what we're doing with the music, I more look at it as like me being Peruvian. So you know what I'm saying? Is that's the main thing. Like me being Peruvian, I bet. You Peruvian, oh, you get busy too. I bet. Who else from Peru is doing what you doing? That's my main goal.
Is there any artist that you kind of have your eye on coming out of Peru right now?
Mm, nah, not really. Due to the fact that I don't wanna, you know, I don't wanna put myself analyzing somebody else and then lose focus of what I got in front of me.
No, but not in that sense, but like a talent that's emerging that deserves a bit of recognition because they're doing something great and they're striving to kind of reach a next level.
I mean, there's a lot of brothers out there doing it. Right now, their names is not coming to me, but there's a
Yeah.
lot of brothers out there getting busy. 90666, you know, he
Okay.
doing his thing. My man's Money Bags, Money
Okay.
Bags in Peru, he doing his thing too. So it's a few individuals getting
And
busy.
I asked that personally because, like, for example, I'm about to head out to Colombia and I'm
Right.
gonna connect with some artists down there, kind of see what's going on down there and take in the hip hop culture down there, right?
Hmm.
Because, you know, there is that's one thing that's really great about the music is there really is hip hop culture in every country.
Yeah, indeed.
And it's so universal.
It's something that people thought was going to be in and out.
Yeah. So, you know, to go to different countries and see what the culture is like there, it's something, it's like when you travel and you don't want to stay on a resort, you want to travel through the country and experience the culture. That's kind of the way I look at it with hip hop. I want to go and see, you know, what the shows are like, what the artists are like, what's coming out of there. That's why I was asking you about Peru. Um, yeah, there's what are your thoughts about the age thing? Because that's been a topic recently about when it comes to hip hop music, when you reach a certain age, people consider you washed.
That only transpires when the individual is making music that doesn't reflect who he is.
Yeah,
Like if you're somebody, if you're an elder, you know what I'm saying, or somebody of age, like we're stating, and all you rapping about is just selling drugs, busting your gun, and other things. So you telling me you got kids, you don't talk to your kids. You telling me, you know what I'm saying, you got a house, you don't deal with your mortgage, you don't talk about none of that. So that's when it seems to be that certain individuals are washed because they're not creating music that gravitates toward who they are. They
yeah.
striving to stay relevant, creating music for people that really ain't gonna really listen to that. Cause you could tell, you know what I'm saying, what a person really about.
I'm gonna ask you something about family after I ask you this, because and it's kind of a spin off of what you're saying, is the age thing comes from they're trying to keep down the maturity and the wisdom with the
But
artist because within this genre, they don't want the wisdom getting out there.
indeed,
And that's something that um a few people have talked to me about. And when they told me the way that they viewed it in that sense, one of them was Benny Slums. Shout out to Benny Slums. Um, it hit me because I was like, you know what? I think you got something there. That they really want to keep it within this drug selling, violent genre, and they really don't want it to be able to teach to raise the youth or anybody listening to it in a positive manner.
yeah.
Um,
Because music's supposed to reflect, who you are.
yeah,
And sadly, though, you know what I'm saying, these young individuals, these young men are rapping a certain lifestyle. They are, I should say, they are living a certain lifestyle, which comes through the music. And it's been lucrative for the people above. If you go back, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, Karis One, then slowly comes NWA.
yeah,
Once NWA came in, everybody talking righteous and all that other stuff out the window.
yeah.
But the thing was that everybody was mad at NWA, but that what they was living.
Hmm.
So they was bringing that to the forefront, letting you know about police brutality, letting you know about how, you know what I'm saying, they dealing drugs or how drugs is affecting the community in their own way. You
Yeah,
see? So we gotta understand that everything serves a purpose here. It's the yin and the yang. Everything
yeah.
can't be just one thing.
Why do you think they want to keep that message suppressed? Because like when you become a more wise, mature artist, you start learning how to, open a business, manage your money. You
Right.
know what I mean? So why do you think they want it within the culture of hip hop? Why do you think they want to keep that suppressed?
Because they want to make it seem like hip hop is a young man's game. And
Yeah,
shout out to Reno Rex. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is not a young man's game. You feel me? Because this is art.
yeah,
You could be 50 years old and paint the flyest mural better than a 20-year old, you
yeah,
know? So it's art, and we can't get too involved with pondering on, all right, well, I'm old, so I can't really be out there rapping. Yeah, you could be out there rapping. You just got to make sure that whatever you do reflects who you are. And it also got to be good. Let's just be honest. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It got to be good.
I mean, like shit, if Mick Jagger can do it, why can't KRS-One, for example, yourself? You know what I
Right.
mean?
But
Because
Mick Jagger ain't creating new music. He doing his old stuff.
yeah, yeah,
You
there's
see,
that.
he's doing his old stuff, and people love that. So
Yeah,
anytime that he do a show, he gonna sell it out. Same thing
yeah.
with Caris One. If he do a show overseas, he gonna sell it out.
Yeah.
Because there's people who grew up to his music that really, have that nostalgia and they want to, represent.
Yeah. What, why do you think that, say, for example, over in Europe, they have more of an appreciation for the golden era artists?
Because I believe they really didn't have anybody speaking like that where they were from. They ain't
Yeah.
really have, you know what I'm saying, anybody speaking on the way Rakim was speaking. They ain't really had nobody speaking like the way Big Daddy Kane was speaking. You know,
Yeah.
it was just like, ah, man, this is like we found gold, buried gold.
Because one thing that I've noticed is that um golden era uh American artists do a lot better with their shows overseas than they do within the United States.
Mhm.
And within Canada, I've experienced some, and I've been to some shows in Canada, and I've showed up, and I've been like, "Are you fucking kidding me? That this is the amount of people that showed up for these legends? Like, this is
Mhm.
embarrassing."
And
On
that also not to cut you off, just to add on, that also goes from the marketing and promotion to the of the party or
Yeah,
of the venue. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So it's a lot of things that play into that.
yeah. Definitely, the promoter dropped the ball on it.
You see?
Um, because that's the whole job of the promoter is to pack the
Indeed.
and
Get the
like
venue grand packed.
like literally I walked into one show and there was like 20 people there. I was just like and in my mind, these are legends in the game. And I'm like,
Hmm.
if I was them, I would have been like, I'm out. Give me my money. I'm out.
Yeah. But see, when you have a love for what you do, it's not really all about the money. Cause I'm
Yeah,
gonna be honest with you. I had a show where we had Royal Flush, Mr. Cheeks, and Rack Boy Cam. Rack
yeah,
Boy Cam is from the Power City. So we had all those people lined up. Royal Flush couldn't show up. Something happened where he couldn't make it. Mr. Cheeks came, and it was only probably like I think probably like 40 people. And Mr. Cheeks said, "No, I'm still rock out. Just make sure you got a bottle of Hennessy for me after you pay me." And he
yeah,
did the whole. He had the whole place rocking, like it
yeah.
was 300 people in there.
How long ago was this? Because you said Royal Flush couldn't show up, but he had a big scare with cancer, correct?
Yeah, but this was way before that. It
Oh,
was
way
way before.
before.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it were.
Okay. Um, how much does family play a part in your life? Because one thing that through my conversations with so many artists, they're very family oriented. They're family men. And I think that's something that needs to be highlighted because going back to trying to suppress the wisdom and the maturity is I think if more people can see that these, artists like yourself are family oriented, they're family men, they can start to relate more instead of prejudging.
Family plays a big part. Family plays a big part. More so, the reason family plays a big part is for my children. I always state this. Children have aspirations, but sometimes certain things in their lives can kill that aspiration. So if
Yeah.
they see me dealing, doing what I'm doing every day, you know,
Yeah.
ensuring that I convert my visions into my reality, that's only going to put more energy into them to say, you know what, my dad did something with his dreams or his visions. I could do the same thing.
Now, is that a an experience you had growing up with your parents?
Nah, honestly speaking, my mother, she
Yeah.
worked, worked, and all she always conveyed to me and my sister was get yourself an education so you don't have to work in a factory.
Yeah.
That was her main goal because she migrated from Peru to here and all she had to do was work. Who knows actually what her aspirations were? You feel
Yeah.
me? But she put that all to the back burner to ensure that me and my sister had food, clothing, and shelter.
Yeah. And you know what? Factory work is that's not easy.
Nah.
That is not an easy life right there.
It's
And
not.
I've done some factory work, in my teenage years, and that shit is depressing. So anybody that could really push through that to support their family, that is a strong individual.
Superhero
Uh-huh. Who did you look up to growing up?
in regards to what?
In regards to how to conduct yourself as an individual, as a man.
Okay. So,
Um, yeah, just as an individual, as a man, as a human being, who did you look up to for inspiration?
yeah, I had my uncles. I had a few brothers in the hood. You know what I'm saying? They carried themselves like generals. And I also had family, they carried themselves like general. You know what I'm saying? I had my cousin Feli, I had my cousin Grudge. Let's see, I had my uncles, like I stated, had some brothers from the hood, they really conducted themselves like stand-up individuals. And I took a piece from everybody and put it into the pot, you know what I'm saying? It became who I am.
That's what it's all about, is being a sponge and absorbing little bits and pieces to mold your own
Right.
creation, right?
Shout out to Avenue A, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to True Kepra, numerous individuals.
Um, Somebody that's looking to get into rap music, to be an artist or a producer or an engineer, what would be your advice to them?
Ensure that this is what you want. Don't do it because you think you're going to be somebody famous.
Yeah,
See, and that's the thing that people get overwhelmed by chasing the dollar and not living out the dream. So if your dream or your vision is to create murals, do that. And then in time, what you create will attract. As long as you're in alignment, the money will come. But you gotta live with a passion. And if you don't live with a passion, then you're just gonna keep running in circles. You're gonna keep running in circles. So that's my piece of advice to anybody looking to be or believing that they want to become artists. Ensure this is what you want. Don't be like, yo, I'm gonna start rapping because you see people popping on Instagram and a lot of that, just be fabricated. So
yeah.
you just already gonna walk into a cloud.
Now, spending on that, uh, you need to have some type of funding because it costs a lot of money
Yeah,
to
indeed.
record a track, have it mastered, et cetera, et cetera.
The entire process.
So, with that being said, you need to have some type of income to fund your passion. Um, when you were getting into this, what was your avenue of income to support getting yourself up and running as an artist?
I mean, we had to do what we had to do.
Enough said right there.
Yeah, we had to do what we had to do. Uh,
No,
and
because
also, and also, just let me add on to that. In regards to making music right now, I mean, it really don't cost much because you
yeah,
got these studios where you could do it in your house, and you could just do everything from home, just like what we stated earlier. Everything's being done in the home.
yeah,
However, if you really want that gloss, you really want that sound, you're gonna have to invest in yourself.
yeah,
All that's good for the launching of who you want to, become. But once you start ascending higher and higher, you're gonna have to start investing.
yeah, yeah. And I think, going back to we had to do what we had to do. I think if you could, and this is where I think people like yourself that have had experience that could teach, if you could take that work ethic and the brain smart and develop that into, opening a business for yourself, a legit business. I think there would be a lot better off people in terms of being able to fund and then also being able to invest in businesses because I talk to a lot of people and they work their jobs to fund this. And then
Mhm.
when they got some income coming in, they started this little business, whether it's rubble removal or whatever the case is, right?
Right.
And I think if that message could get out there,
Entrepreneurship.
exactly. And I think that's what needs to be taught. Oh,
Hmm.
hold on. Not needs to be taught. I think that's what needs to be in the algorithm, we'll say, because
Yeah.
it is being taught, but it's not being pushed in the algorithm.
I believe it is though. Like I stated, in regards to what we was building about earlier, when you scrolling, it's like, yo, you gotta do it like this. You gotta do it like this. If you're doing music, do it like this. It is being pushed, but a lot of people are not certified to do this. So I would say go to the mom and pop store. Hey, how did you do this? You know,
Yeah,
how did you create this business? What was the necessary steps that you took to acquire this? So that's
yeah,
what I would say. A lot of people on social media, they get information from other people, repackage it and put it on their platform.
yeah,
So they just regurgitating stuff. But if you really want the gems, I would say go to somebody in your neighborhood.
yeah,
Go to somebody that you see, you know, is building something actually with your own two eyes. Go to the car dealership. You know, hey, how'd you do this? You know,
yeah,
how did you create this? You know, that's the way that people are going to learn how to become entrepreneurs by speaking with real entrepreneurs.
Now, with that being said, do you think as you evolve, you have to evolve your circle in a sense of once you start to establish, you're in business, entrepreneurship, you got to really, we'll say, mingle with that type of bubble because you're now elevating to a next level where you want to go to a next level, and those that don't want to take the next step, they're not really going to teach you anything.
So, all right, in regards to that, I believe that if the team you with,
Yeah,
team you commence with, you're going through multiple levels together, that means y'all learning together.
yeah,
Once a person makes the decision to no longer learn and you're still climbing that ladder, then that's when you make the decision to whoever attracts to in alignment with you, that's when you
yeah,
be like, I bet now we got to join forces. But it's not necessary to actually, you know, alter the circle that you commenced with. Everybody just has to have that passion and that will to continue to learn.
yeah, yeah. And, again, everybody being individuals, different mindsets, different
Right.
motivation in life, it's very hard when you start with a team to really see the whole team go to the next level. And the reason I was asking that is because, you know, I'm in the construction business, and one thing that I always do if I'm around somebody that has a skill that I don't know or a mindset that I haven't thought that way, I have the conversation. Or I sit there
Mhm.
and I watch how they do it because now I can learn how to do that and make money doing that as well. And
Right.
that's why I was asking that because as you start to, I think there's two mindsets. There's one that wants to learn it all and be able to make them to maximize their knowledge and their power, so to say.
Mhm.
Uh, and then there's those that, they're just content with having what they have and they don't want to go to the next step. So where do you determine, all right, you know what, I gotta leave you behind.
Like I stated, you know, once you see yourself, you know, the team is moving forward and there's multiple levels that y'all traveling through together, and you start analyzing, yo, this person is kind of more to the backside. He
Yeah,
not really putting in the 110 that he was putting in before. That's when you make the decision. All right, you build with that person. Look, what's going on, brother? Before you was giving me 110. Now you only giving me 25. What's up?
yeah,
And if
yeah,
he tell you what he tell you, and if it doesn't align with what you're striving to do, yo, I thank you for everything, but this is where we part ways. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And I'm building up to something. I'm gonna let you know something once we cut off of the block.
Yeah.
Um, And there's a reason I'm
105 the block.
105 the block radio. And you know what? Hey, listen, we have a 90% retention on the block. So that means, 90% of the people that tune in from the start, they stay locked in till the very end. It's been a
Oh,
blessing to have a home on the block radio. They're worldwide, 40 countries. Um, and it's been great, man. It's been great to have so many people like yourself to I watch a lot of interviews, okay? And I watch a lot of podcasts. And one of my goals is to not be the same thing. So a lot of times you see people looking down, and it's nothing against them. Everybody's got their own format, their style. And they're looking down and they have a
yeah.
question sheet, right? Okay, so question one,
Hmm.
question two. And
Hmm.
that's their thing. That's not my thing. I
Right.
like to just see where it goes, right? And give
Yeah.
people a real insight into the artist, the person as a human being. Because, we can all go on Google, we can search you up, we can see your music, we can see what you're doing, but let's find out more about you as a person.
Right.
Because one of my goals is to, again, break down that prejudgment of rap artists and put them in a light where you you guys are human beings just like me, just like everybody else out there, right? We all have dreams, we all have stories. We all have things we like and enjoy. Let's find out, let's relate, let's become on a human level. And that's my goal with this whole thing. And it's been very successful so far.
Congratulations, my brother.
I appreciate that. But with that, we're gonna cut out on the block. We're gonna keep it rolling for a few minutes because going back to what I was talking about with asking questions, I'm gonna elaborate on that. But let everybody know where they could find you on social media, websites, anywhere that you got pages.
Yeah. You already know it's your boy Stack Federal Dollars, 85 music flagship artist, Power City alumni. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm X and Dapper Dan, my new project. If you into that music that really talks to your soul, this is what we have for you right now. Malcolm X and Dapper Dan is available on all streaming platforms. If you want to follow me, I always say, don't like my status, be a part of my status. You know what I'm saying? So stack underscore F dot DOLLAHS Instagram. Stack Federal Dollars Facebook.
And that is a great album. I've listened to that a few times. I encourage everyone to go listen to it start to finish. Great, great hip hop album right there. Uh, Till next week on the block,
Thank
we're
you,
out.
brother.
Appreciate you all. So the reason I was asking
Manteca
you,
país.
the reason I was asking you all these questions because so since I got into
Hold,
this,
hold on, hold on, hold on. The interview over?
no, it's not over.
Oh, okay. My
It's
bad. All
over
right,
on
go
the
ahead. Part
block.
us up.
So yeah, I know the block we got an hour. Anything
Okay.
extra. So the video goes to YouTube. The YouTube is kind
Okay.
of like it's a there in case you missed it on the block, plus any extra
Bet,
conversation that we got.
bet.
Uh, and I'm keeping it filming right now because this is going to be the first time I'm actually going to say this publicly.
Okay.
Uh, so, and actually, you're episode 50, so milestone right there.
Hey, my brother.
Um, so since I got into this, going back to being complacent, right? You could be at a level and you're content, right? Some people are happy. They go work their 9 to 5, they come home, they make their dinner, they watch their TV, they go to bed, rinse and repeat.
Mhm.
That's not my style, right?
Right.
And now when I started the podcast, it really wasn't even about any of this.
Mhm.
I had interviewed a couple artists just because I wanted to keep a variety. They opened up the doors into the hip hop world. Now, I've grew up on hip hop my whole life. I heard it from as long as I can remember to my adult life. I'm showing my son all the golden era, the 80s, the stuff I grew up on to really teach him about hip hop. So
Mhm.
once I started going into this uh
Rabbit hole.
yeah, this podcast version of hip hop artists, I
Mhm.
looked at it like, all right, so I've been given a position. I've been welcomed in. I've been given opportunity to talk to so many great artists, to put their story out there in a different way. What else can I do with this? So I start sitting back and I start looking at other things, the way people are operating, different stations, different podcasts, etc. So I came to the determination I'm going to start my own radio channel,
That's what's up, my
and
brother.
it's going to be all dedicated to real hip hop, people like yourself. So any music you got, send it my way. But
Word.
within the next 6 months, I'm collecting music right now. Within the next 6 months, I'm going to be launching my own radio channel. I'm not going to say what the name of it is, but
Mhm.
it's going to be something unique. It's going to be something where people that have done the show, we're going to do like 1 hour takeovers where it's straight your music for 1 hour on this day or this time, whatever the case is, as an appreciation to people that have done the show. But it's going to be dedicated to, real hip hop. Well, my perspective of real hip hop. Forget all the mainstream stuff. You know, I think there's not enough places, being in Canada, there's not enough places out there doing it. So I think, why talk about it? Just do it.
Hey,
So,
congratulations, my brother, on betting on yourself and converting your vision into your reality. It takes a lot. It takes a lot.
you have to invest in yourself and you have to, follow what you believe in. And,
Indeed.
hip hop is a culture and it's something that has really inspired me throughout my life. So to be able to do something for it and give back to it, I think it's an obligation at this point if I have the opportunity to do so. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to run with it. And this is the first time I've actually spoken about it. Um, but yeah, that's coming in the next 6 months, man. So send me all the music you got because you're going to get a lot of plays on that channel.
Grateful. I'm grateful, brother. Thank you for keeping me in your best thoughts and other artists as well. It's
Yeah.
big.
And again, you gave a shout out to Reno Rex. I had him on the show. Another great artist, Indigo Phoenix. I mean, there's so many. There, there's so
Indeed.
there's so many. And I did a mixtape episode, and it's like there's so much mu this is really what spawned it because I wanted to do a mixtape episode of the artists that have been on the show.
Hmm.
And I was like, man, there's so much good music. How do you just pack it into an hour? And it's so
Very
hard to do.
difficult fact.
Right? So I was like, you know what? Maybe I need a 24/7 platform where I could just unload it all and just let it play. And then that's really what birthed the concept of the radio channel. I'm excited about it. And I can't
As you
wait for
should, as you should be.
can't wait for it. It's a blessing for sure.
And you also need to put out there, that it didn't come overnight, that you had to ponder, you had to make sure,
Yeah.
what you saw was something that could be really tangible. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
So you gotta put that out there as well. You know what I mean?
Well, everything is brick by brick. I look at it like once the channel launches, you might have one listener, right? Okay, let's grow it into
Hmm.
2 listeners. Let's grow it into 3 listeners. It's not an overnight success like anything in this world. Um, now spinning off that, manifestation, is that something that you believe in?
Indeed. Gotta speak what you want into existence.
Do you think there's an art to manifestation that you can't just, you know, envision it? You have to
You gotta
thoroughly,
also put in the work.
you got to put in the work, but you have to really thoroughly believe, right?
Yes.
And I learned this from my wife. So, like I was telling you, my wife's Colombian, and she's a very firm believer in God.
Okay.
And she always says, if you really believe in it, it's gonna happen. And I've witnessed it a lot. Now, myself, I don't know what I believe in this world. I'm just one of those. I'm not religious. But I've learned a lot about manifestation and belief. And then when you really, so there's a difference between saying you want it, but really envisioning it and believing in yourself. So do you think there's
Right.
levels to that manifestation?
Indeed. Indeed, there's levels to it. There's levels to everything in this world. That's one thing that we gotta understand. So
Yeah,
in regards to what you're stating, manifestation is the first level where you envision it. The second level is where you envision yourself in the actual situation. Then the third level is you see what can you do to actually obtain that vision and convert that vision into reality. Then the fifth level is actually happening. You see? So those are the levels right there. And you actually got to put in the work. We always gotta reiterate that. You gotta put in the work to manifest this stuff. Sometimes it may take longer, but it doesn't mean that it will not, transpire. You just
yeah,
gotta have that faith in yourself and trust the process.
yeah. And
And you can't compare yourself to Joe Schmo. Like, damn, me and Joe Schmo started at the same time, but he 100,000 up. All right, that don't mean nothing.
yeah, yeah,
Eventually, you probably be 2 million up. So you
yeah.
just can't do that to yourself.
I definitely believe your only competition is within yourself.
It is.
Mm,
It
I
is.
don't,
Because
I,
what happens when you go into the gym, right?
yeah,
Let's just make that example. You go into the gym, you start going, then after a while, like, damn, man, I don't want to go today. I don't want to go tomorrow.
yep,
Then you look around, like 2 months, you ain't been in the gym. Why?
yep,
Because of you.
yep. I'm facing that struggle right now. I'm about I'm about
Mm.
to go on vacation. I'm like, oh, I got to get this beach body ready. I got to go back to the way I was in my 30s. And I have a gym in my basement, work out a couple of days, and then I'm like, oh, I'm tired today.
See,
Uh,
yeah, you got to push through that. We got to
yeah,
push through. We got to push through that. If we really want to get to the other side of the fire, we got to walk through that fire. And that's when you're tired. That's walking through the fire. That's when, the plumbing or the water start coming out the boiler. You fix that and you're like, damn, and today was an exhausting day. I'm not going to go. Nah, go to the gym. You feel me?
yeah. That's something that I tell my son is sometimes the best training days you have are the days you really didn't want to go. And
Indeed.
sometimes those are the best sessions you will ever have.
That
And
strengthens your dedication.
yeah, and that's what makes, because he's in basketball, so he plays rep basketball. I was like,
Okay.
the difference between you and everybody else on your team right now is you show up to every single practice. You're eating properly. You're working out outside of practices. So it's like when you get into
Mhm.
the fight game, right? Everything they say everything is won in the training room. You train that
Right.
extra day, you train that extra hour, you went that extra mile. And it's very correct because you're essentially outside of the game, you have to outwork your opponents. And that's what
Correct.
will keep you sprinting back and forth, not getting tired.
Hmm.
And and that's something that can, again, going back to being an artist, putting out constant music. You can't rest. Especially in these modern days where everything next week is forgotten from last week. So you have to constantly
True.
have something new in the cycle.
True.
Now, speaking about that, how do you draw inspiration for your music?
Life. That's my inspiration. Life. Everything I go through, I may not put it all into the music, but I'll find some way to draw something from that to create something.
is there a certain format you use for writing your music? Like you have to hear a beat first, or you kind of you get a thought, you write out some lyrics, you wait till you hear a beat that is applicable to these lyrics. Like what is your format for writing music?
Well, I don't strive to tie myself down to no format. I just strive to embrace whatever gives me the vibration to write. So if I'm
Yeah,
in a car, right, and the windows is down, and I'm just driving, and something comes to my mind, I'm gonna keep that. I'm not going. You know what I'm saying, toss that. I'm gonna keep that. And then if I'm listening to a beat, I'm gonna find a way to implement that and add some more stuff to it. You feel me? Or if I'm just listening to a beat, something may not come right then and there. I may be doing laundry, something come. I'm like, all right, bet, boom, add it to that. So it's not, I don't strive to keep myself. I gotta stay in the laboratory and just continue to cook. Because honestly speaking, I don't think that's realistic.
yeah, yeah. It's
You
something.
gotta go outside. You gotta touch life. You gotta embrace life. You know.
Yeah, it, even going back to what we were talking about going out and talking to people about how they establish their business, experiencing life, not just sitting at home behind a computer screen or a cell phone, right? You have to go
Right.
get those real life
Right.
experiences, get those conversations, really learn from people that have been there and done that. And I think that sets certain people in different levels. Um, about being able to go out and achieve things because they're not afraid to go out. Because something that I've noticed over the years is conversation, like in-person conversation has declined a lot. People don't know how to carry a conversation. And
And
people
there's a
are,
lack of civility in this too.
I was going to say that too. There's a lot, people are afraid to have a conversation because there's so much stuff out there that makes people prejudge. Hey, I got white skin, I'm a fucking racist, right? You got, you know what I mean? You got black
Right,
skin,
right, right.
you're a
Hmm.
thug, you're that, right?
Hmm.
So there's so much
Right.
prejudgment out there from everybody. And that's what I like. So this is what I like about, for example, a cigar lounge. You'll go into a cigar lounge.
Mhm.
You don't know who's who.
Right.
Sit down, you'll light up a cigar. You have conversation with so many different people. Next thing you know, you find out, well, this was the CEO of this multi-million dollar company. This was a politician that believes in this. This was somebody that believes in this. This was an artist. This was a blue collar guy. But we all had a civil conversation. Even though we
Hmm.
believe in different things, we
Hmm.
all had a civil conversation. And that's what's missing in society is the ability to be able to just talk to people because there's so many barriers now where somebody will look at somebody like for example, if you and me were to cross paths in the street, you probably wouldn't say nothing to me. I probably wouldn't say nothing.
I'll probably say, what's up? What's up?
Depending what country we're in,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
right? You go back to Peru and it's common, you say good
Right.
morning to each
Hmm.
other, buenas noches, buenas
Right.
tardes, right?
Yeah.
Culture, right? But
Right,
in
right, right.
with America, you look at each other like and
What the
you
fuck you looking at?
analyze.
Yeah,
Exactly,
word.
right?
Yeah,
So
word.
again, circumstances, scenarios, environments,
Hmm.
and that's something that I would love to see us get past is be able to just acknowledge each other's existence and have conversation because you never know what I learned something from you today, right?
Hmm.
You
Right.
never know what you're going to learn from another human being because we all have different
And so did
experiences,
I.
I appreciate that. And we have different perspectives, different um experiences, and we can all learn from each other to better perfect ourselves and the way we view people. Because at the end of the day, we all bleed red and we all got to eat, we all got to shit, we all die,
Indeed.
So what makes us better than anybody else? Nothing.
We live in the dotted saying with fears of being different.
Okay. I like your wisdom. I like your music.
Thank you,
Yeah,
brother.
I like your music. It's inspirational. It's got a message to it.
Indeed. And that's because, you know, I come from that era where there had to be a message in the music,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Even though, you know, we had Rakim and we had Kid and Play, you know? So it all depends on what you want at that moment. If you going through something and you just trying to forget the world, you may put on Kid and Play. But if you masterminding something and you really trying to attack something, you're gonna put on Rakim.
yep,
So, you know, like I stated, back to what I stated previously, everything serves a purpose here.
yeah. Like Cigar's music, every artist has a time and place. Every cigar has its time and place.
And you're not going to the cigar lounge every day, right?
No.
Exactly. You see?
Well, I'm not going to a cigar lounge any day because they're illegal up here. So, I
Oh,
only
okay.
I only experience them in the United States. That's it.
All right.
But yeah, there's certain like you're saying, you don't go every day. So you don't listen to this every day. Some days I'm getting in the truck, I'm driving to the job site, and I only want to listen to this.
Mhm.
Some days when I'm feeling encouraged and I want to go and work out, I'm going to listen to this.
Right, right.
Some days when I want to sit back and have a cigar and I really want to put some deep thought into something, I'm going to listen to somebody like yourself.
Thank you, brother. Word.
And every genre, every music, every artist has a time and place. And on
In
that
moderation.
moderation, yeah. And I'm gonna cut you loose, and I appreciate you joining in and giving us your time. Like I always say, time is the most expensive currency because you can't make it back, man.
Yeah, my
So
brother.
I appreciate your time, and whatever you need, whatever you send it my way, I'll post it, collaborate it, whatever the case is. It's not a one and done, move on to the next. I fully believe in promoting the people that have been on the show as well. So whatever you need, send it my way, man. We'll post it up, we'll share it, whatever the case is.
Got you, brother. Likewise.
I,
Likewise.
I appreciate it, man, thoroughly.
Thank you for having this platform and allow me to, you know what I'm saying, engage with the audience and new people to embrace my music and my art, brother.
That's what
I'm
it's all
grateful.
about too, is bringing it to new eyeballs. People that, and this is the whole thing with collaborations, is that a lot of people get lost with.
Mhm.
Collaborations are a great thing because you never know who's out there that really likes your type of music. So if you don't venture into different avenues, you're not gonna get your music heard in new areas. And it's like myself too. You never know who likes to have a cigar and just fucking talk some random shit for an hour, right? If you don't get out there into different avenues, you don't have great guests like yourself.
Hey,
So yeah, I appreciate you, man. And whatever you need moving forward, just let me know. We got it.
likewise, brethren.
All
It's your
right.
boy, Stack Federal Dollars.
Peace.
Manteca Pai.
There we go. Appreciate it.
Peace, brethren.
Peace, man.
Lefty Pacino. Let's go. It's cigar talk, nigga. You rap niggas make me anemic. Murder, kill, death, homicide, I seen it. I try to dream it. I never had a triple beam it. I just made a few ends, hitting the block and making a rock. The digi-scale, a couple fiends, you had to be there to believe it. The youngest throwing up gang signs, I think I'm bulimic. That Sucio up in the street, dog food for the fiend to eat. Coke on my knuckles, washing my hands, Glock on my chest when I sleep. It's Peligro. Peligro.